So, our next speaker for this evening is Khushi. Khushi is an illustrator and artist. Khushi is
Hello, hi guys.
hi Khushi. Khushi is an illustrator and an artist studying in Srishti Institute of Art Design and Technology. She's an ambivert, loves reading books, and dabbles her feet in uncharted water. Khushi, over to you. Welcome.
Okay, first I would like to thank you all for giving me this opportunity to speak up. So, I completely agree with what the other speakers said, and I would like to give a general idea of why people actually step into this world of social media. Now, the generation where I am from, we have seen the social media come into our lives. Like, it wasn't existing. Like, if you see the kids these days, they would have social media. The social media in their life is very eminent already. Like, they're just born and the pictures are already over the social media. But for us, we have seen it, grow from a very small thing to something very popular and a big part of our lives. So, firstly, the way our parents introduced social media in our lives kind of plays a important role as well. We were taught that social media would be a way of getting yourself distracted from your studies. That was one thing. And then they would come up with all these articles and newspapers saying how through social media or through Facebook, a crime took place, so you should stay away from it, this, that. They never actually teach the child a healthy way of using social media, how they can positively use it. So this was one thing. It was a platform that gave us the opportunity to be ourselves. Like, maybe I might not be the kind of person I am in my real life because I might not talk a lot with a lot of people, or maybe I'm not a speaker, or maybe I'm not a social kind of a person. But maybe on a social media I can be the kind of person I wish to be, or maybe see what I want to see, something like that. And also there was this thing of peers, all your friends being on social media posting pics and you getting likes and then commenting and all. There was a sort of validation also among the peers that if you want to be a popular kid, you should have a lot of followers and lot of likes and all that. So this was one part. So as soon as you step into this world, slowly you realize that it's not a safe space at all. There it takes time. Maybe sometimes it's just the moment you step in and you realize it that it's not a safe space at all. So it's different for everyone, but you gradually do understand that. So it's always different for every other person. For us girls, like how Nitya said, we often get people texting us, and then maybe you are not aware that you're not supposed to talk with them, and maybe you talk and then you actually get bullied online, and then you realize what you should do. And actually at that stage, when you're at that age, you don't know what you're actually supposed to do. You don't know whom are you going to approach, because somehow because when I had this social media thing around me, many of my friends didn't tell their parents that they have Facebook accounts, and they would be like, it's a good idea, you can make a Facebook account, don't tell your parents and just use it. So when something like that would happen, they would not have anyone to talk to about it. They didn't know whom to approach, whom they could go and complain to. And we were just kids. We were just in like 8th standard or 9th standard or something like that. And there's a very thin line between the bullying that takes place online and the bullying that takes place offline. When it's online, you just don't know who that person is and you cannot confront that person. Whereas when it's offline, you can see that person, you can confront that person and maybe fight your fears, or maybe grow out of it and maybe fight back. But when it's online, it's very difficult. And this is something that our schools have been playing a major part when it comes to sexism. So I have seen different places, like my school has been involved. Like I had till my 8th standard, I was in a school where I grew up with my classmates, like from my nursery. So that was a kind of safe space. So, we already knew each other very well. But when we all went through puberty, there was this thing that girls are not supposed to talk to boys, boys are not supposed to talk to girls. If a guy has to be punished, he's supposed to sit between two girls, and that would be embarrassing. The moment he would get back to his guys would gossip about it. And the girls would feel embarrassed that, maybe the guys are talking about us or something. So this was this one thing. And then later, I changed my school. I was completely new there. I was in my 9th and 10th grade back at that time. So I had this atmosphere where the girls actually face where where your online life was not online anymore. It affected our online lives as well. I wasn't on social media, but I still knew what was happening online because everyone spoke about their online lives in the school itself. So there was this girl who's posting a picture, and or not just a girl, or just a girl going out with some friends, and there are guys as well. The group of kids are called in by the coordinator, and the coordinator yells at them for posting a pic where they are going out together, and they are all in a group. So this is how your online life is not like, your life online doesn't keep your life a secret. It doesn't give you any privacy at all. Even if you have a private account or something, there is no privacy in the social media. Even after you have many security measures and all that, it is definitely not possible to be safe there. And the teachers often yelled at girls. Girls were asked not to laugh in the class because they found it would provoke the guys to crack more jokes, and the girls were and the girls were made to follow that. We were not allowed to laugh in the class. So these are some of the silly things. And many of the guys, actually, I'm proud to have such guys in my class. Like, all together we went and spoke to our teachers that why are you treating us like this? Why are the guys blamed? Why are the girls treated like this? So, and they said that, this is the age where you guys will get distracted from your studies. So there was always this thing where, where they would keep you away. They would not educate you about what has to be done and what has not to be done. They would just put a stop to it. That is how they approach you at school. They don't want to teach you the right way. They try and put a stop to what you're doing and all that. Even when I was like in my 12th grade, I was just 17. I kind of thought that, most of the kids would be mature by this age, but not really. I had this girl in this class. We had a normal debate kind of discussion, and the girl in front of the entire class said that, the nature has been built in a way where women are supposed to be, in the house working. It's like wives are supposed to be submissive to their husbands. I was enraged and I spoke. I was like, this is not how it's supposed to be. Even the teacher in the class, she spoke. She was like, no, that's not the case. And all the guys in the class, they applauded on what she just said. It was a joke to them. They enjoyed it. No one put in the effort to, try and make her understand that this is wrong. And it was really embarrassing to see how many people actually supported that. And even the teachers, they knew what was happening in the class. They were supposed to speak about it, but they did not. They did not approach the child and make her understand that no, this is wrong, you're not supposed to think in this way or something. They did not do that. And just like the way Pranjal also said,
So Khushi, what you mean to say is that, online, sexism is also because there is no guidance or direction that's given, and it tends to originate from offline sexism, that so many examples that you've been mentioning, the things that you've heard while you have been and everything. So you would say that direction and guidance online would be of utmost importance when it comes to dealing with online sexism, right?
Yes, it is. It is online platform is just a reflection of our offline lives. What's happening around us, the atmosphere around us. Even when this locker room thing was, it created this sensation. I spoke up about it. I made a few comments in a few pages where they literally made some shitty comments, and I received so much of backlash just for making a comment that what is happening around us is wrong. And I also received people threatening to rape and all that. I even received such kinds of messages. And when the people around me learned about this, like my friends and all, when I put it up on my story that this is what is happening, the first thing that they ask you is to just block, and they ask you to go private, make your account private, take off all your pictures from social media. Now, if I'm not doing anything wrong, then why am I supposed to be scared? Here I'm supposed to be scared because I'm a girl, and what if they morph my picture into an inappropriate picture? That is what here I'm supposed to be scared of. So it's not about, like, it's very unsafe for women out there when it comes to things like this. It is obvious that men also get such comments and all that, backlash and all that, but women face it in a different level. It's like there's no safety. You don't know what to do. The only thing they ask you to do is just go, just take off all your pictures and go private. I mean, you didn't do anything wrong that you're supposed to go private. You were doing something right. You were speaking up for a right cause. Then why are you the one who's supposed to be quiet? And why not the person who is doing all this? And most of them were all just fake accounts. They were all fake accounts. They were made for this sole purpose of just trolling you, or just making or just threatening you and all that. This is
Sure, sure.
how it happens.